Hello. I'm not gonna sit and cross-legged. It's a bad idea. Let's do this instead. Okay, I'm gonna start this video off with, I'm trying a new thing with the lighting. What do you guys think about it? I feel the glasses, is this better? Maybe we do the video without the glasses and I just have to squint at my notebook. Yeah, don't know what you guys think about this. It was quite dark outside, so I couldn't really get much natural light, so I thought I would give this a go and let me know what you think. So, as a lot of you guys are aware, over lockdown I started my own small business. I make and sell resin jewellery. I also do hammer bead things and I sell some vintage clothes, most of which are just my own that I'm selling on, to be honest, just like how it's a business. And I bleach dye clothes, which definitely is a business because I don't wear them. I bleach them to sell them. And I don't know, as someone who's recently gone through this experience, I wanted to share some questions that you should ask yourself if you're thinking about starting a small business. Just so some things that I think you should think about the answers to, that you should know the answer to before you start, even just after you start. I am in no way like the authority on this. I have no formal training in anything to do with this. My small business is I mean, I'm still in the negative. I've yet to make profit from it, but I'm happy with how it's going. I think I am on track to make profit pretty soon. I'm happy with my number of sales. It hasn't like completely massively flopped, but you know, I haven't been selling out immediately or anything like that. It's just pretty standard. Most people don't really intend to make profit in like the first year normally, which is what I'm about. I'm looking at it's going to take me about a year to start getting out of the red, going into the green, but that's fine by me. The first question is the most important question, and it is, what are you selling? And I know that sounds like a really obvious question, but when I was like, I am going to do resin, what resin are you going to do, Amy? So I had to work out if I was going to do jewellery, if I was going to do trays, if I was going to do, I know people do those cup things, because you want to be buying the right stuff straight off. I know so many people who have gone into small businesses and have bought all these things that they just didn't end up using. So yeah, knowing exactly what you're planning on selling, like having a pretty solid idea of what you want to make before you start, is always obviously a really good idea. It sounds obvious, but it's always an important thing to really think through. Okay, so the next question is, what is your angle or your audience? So I'm not gonna lie, my shop's a little bit all over the place. I don't think I have one particular aesthetic, but I do think I know my audience pretty well, and my audience is me. It's pretty straightforward. If I would look at that and be interested in it on a market, I will make it. The logic behind this is two things. Is one, that the people that I advertise to, like the people that I know, people who follow me on Instagram, things like that, are probably more likely to like things that I'm gonna like, just by like virtue of I surround myself, you know, I'm in an echo chamber because everybody is. And also, if something doesn't end up selling, I can keep it and I'm fine with that because I like it. And also, like, you're more proud of a thing if you personally like it. What are the limitations of this angle? So for me, for example, when I make resin jewellery or when I make hammer bead things, it's very easy to make them too childish. In reality, my audience isn't children. I would have nothing against selling things to children, but that's not the people that I'm reaching. It's not the people who follow me on Instagram, it's not the people who follow me on YouTube, it's not my friends, it's not, you know, if I ask my friends to share a Facebook post, they're not sharing it to people with kids. Like, they will. Inevitably some parents will see it, but chances are they won't. So bearing that in mind, so if I have like a good idea and I think, actually, I think that's a bit childish, or I think that's aimed at children, it's probably not going to sell. Questions such as, how many things are people going to buy? I recently made Christmas cards and they did really well because people don't buy one Christmas card, people buy a set of them. Whereas if you're making, like my earrings for example, I tend to only sell 1 or 2 sets to all of my customers, whereas with my Christmas cards I was selling 5, 10, 15 to each people. Yes, the cost is slightly lower, but if you're making something that nobody's ever going to want more than one of, maybe think about how you're going to expand that audience or how you're going to make people want more than one. And obviously next question is there a market for the thing that you're selling? The thing is with resin jewellery is that a lot of people are doing it at the moment, so I do try and make an effort to think of things that other people haven't done. I look for moulds I think are a bit more unusual. there's kind of pros and cons of this because for example, I made these little female torso earrings, which I've seen quite a few people doing, but they sell incredibly well, and other people obviously do them because they sell incredibly well, and there's nothing wrong with doing those things. If people want to buy them and I want to make them because I like them, there is nothing wrong with that. But also you don't want to do everything that everybody else is doing, because should they buy from you and not somebody else? And I'm not saying that in a mean way, I'm saying that and I literally think about that. Why are they buying this from you and not that other person if you both sell identical products? Okay, so the next thing you need to think about is packaging. How are you going to make sure your items arrive safe? You need to think about how you're going to be posting things and things like that. So I think I did it in a vlog where I showed you how I package up my videos. Go find that on my channel. But you need to be thinking about, are you having branding? Do you need business cards? Are you going to have stickers or a stamp? Are you going to include some little freebies in all of your orders? You get stickers with all of your orders. If you order from me, you'll get some stickers. Things like that. So for me, when I have an order, I buy the packaging from, so I buy the postage through Royal Mail, I print it off, I sellotape on the front and I put it in the post box. Questions like that. If you're not going to do that and you're going to go to a post office, how often can you go to the post office? Do you need to be telling people that you're only shipping once or twice a week? Think about your packaging. If you're making things like, I won't name who it is, but someone I know messaged me saying that they were thinking about making lipsticks and that they'd found like lipstick cases to use, but are you going to put a sticker on there to advertise the name of your business? Also the name of your business. Things like that. Do any of your products need any kind of testing done if you're selling to children? I cannot remember the name of the test. There's a test that you should get, which a lot of companies do. If you're selling like food or makeup products, there might be certain tests that you need. I'm not an expert on this at all because none of the products that I sell need particular testing that I'm aware of. I've done some research and I can't find any. So yes, you need to do your own research on this, knowing your own products and knowing who you're going to sell to, if there is any legal certification that you need to sell your item, and don't just think, oh, it's fine, I don't need it, they'll never check. I'm in quite a few like small like business Facebook groups, and every single day I'm seeing people posting saying, you know, I've got done for this, my business has been shut down, I have to pay this fine. Just because you're small doesn't mean that they won't notice you. It is not worth it. Just get the proper licensing that you need. On a similar note, copyright. Do not infringe on copyright. It is not worth it. You want to be careful with things like Disney stuff. Anything owned by Disney, they're notorious for it. But honestly, anything that is copyrighted, you might not even think it's copyrighted, but if you found a pattern online, for example a knitting pattern online, and you just used it, that knitting pattern could be copyrighted by the owner and you could have needed to pay for that. Yeah, you want to check all these things first. Again, I see every single day people getting letters about it, cease and desist, having things taken down. You know, you'll be doing a market stall and someone from the company will come and see it, and then you'll get done. It is not worth it, especially when your profits at the beginning are probably going to be quite low. Yes, just be careful. You will get caught out. I don't want to scare you, but you probably will. On the other side of the licensing and copyright things, if you're thinking of a particular name, if you have a particular logo, if you have a very particular idea, you could think about licensing that under your name. And also in the UK, I think if you have a turnover of more than £1,000 or maybe a profit of more than £1,000, I'm not entirely sure. I don't come under either of those categories, so it's not something that I've massively looked into. I have in the past, I just can't remember it now. You need to be registered with the government as a small business for tax reasons. So now you have that all the way. Where are you selling? Are you doing market stalls? If you do have market stalls, you will need to get public liability insurance. Most stalls won't let you sell without public liability insurance. Are you selling through Facebook, through your own Facebook page, or through Facebook Marketplace? Are you going to have an Instagram where you sell directly? Are you selling on Depop? Are you selling on Etsy? Where are you selling? This is an important thing to think about and scope out. Personally, for me, I sell directly through Instagram. That is where I get my most sales. It's also where I like getting sales the most because you don't have to pay any kind of fee. All of the money goes straight to you, except for a small PayPal fee, which will be taken off if you use PayPal. I post everything on Depop because I like having one centralised store where people can look through everything, but you do pay quite a hefty fee. I think it's close to 10%, and then you pay the PayPal fee on top of that, so you do end up paying quite a lot. If you're selling clothes, you can sell through Vinted. I like Vinted. It is very, very low maintenance. I just post the stuff up on there and people just buy the things and you get 100% of the money. So it does through a backs transfer, and you don't pay any commission. So if you sell a shirt for £5, you get £5. which is very rare for things like this. You can also sell through Facebook Marketplace or directly through Facebook. I know a lot of people have success with that, as well as Etsy. But with Etsy, I don't think you pay a commission. You might pay a commission, but you also have to pay to post. So if you are going to be on Etsy, I would maybe test the waters out with these other things first before you pay to put stuff on Etsy. How are you recording your sales? I have a big spreadsheet. I probably should have been keeping receipts, but my business is currently small enough where it doesn't matter. I know it's probably not the best, but I didn't really know what I was doing when I started. But I have a spreadsheet where I keep everything that I've bought, everything that I've sold, the shipping that I paid for it, the profit that I made from it, etc, etc, all in this big spreadsheet, which is useful for me to keep account of things, and will also be useful if you are having a turnover or a profit, I'm really sorry, I should really know that I don't, of more than £1,000 for tax reasons later down the line. But yes, you should probably come up with the system before you start, unlike me who came up with the system later and just had to work it out. What are your shop policies? Do you ship internationally? Do you just ship in the UK? How much is your shipping? Do you take returns? How do you take returns? Do you take commissions? On what basis? How long will you give people to ship out? Is everything made to order, or are you making stuff and then shipping it out? You want to make this clear, and you want to make sure that your buyers know this as well. The amount of people who will, again, doesn't happen to me, but will not realise that an item is made to order, and when they have to wait a couple of weeks for the item to be made, they will then complain that it's taken too long to arrive, even though the artist has to actually make the thing before saying that to you. Mine are not, mine are all made and then posted. I do commissions occasionally, but again, it's up to you whether you want to do commissions. Mine is on a case-by-case basis. If I have time at the moment, if it's a thing that's even possible for me to do, how much they're willing to pay for it and things like that. So yeah, think about these things before you start so that you don't have to think about them on the fly and then make rash decisions when somebody asks you a question. Okay, but my last point is going to be quickly about money. I had a couple more things to say, but this video is getting long and I think I've covered most things anyway. How much money are you willing to put into this? How much money are you going to skim off the top for yourself? How much money is going straight back into the business? How many hours are you going to work and are you paying yourself a minimum wage, etc. For me, I will be basically losing money on this, but because I budgeted for all of the stuff that I bought came out of my budget, which means that anything that I get back in is a nice little bonus thing to have at the end of the year, because I'm not spending money that I didn't already have, if that makes sense. But are you going to be putting aside a pile of money and saying, this is for my business, I need to make this back? I'm not worried about making the money back. I would like to, but that's not the main point. I'm just having a bit of fun, really. But if you are like, I need to make this money back, it is integral that I have this money back, then maybe you want to, make that little original pot of money a bit smaller, or think about maybe how you're going to get it back if you don't make the money back, because running a small business is hard. Hopefully some of these questions will help you out a little bit when you start. There is way more advice and way more things to think about than I've written down and told you about here, but hopefully it's a little bit of a starting point. Maybe I've made you think about something that you hadn't thought about yet. But yeah, I think that's everything. If you have any questions, then leave them down in the comments. New videos every Wednesday, like, subscribe and all that jazz, and I'll see you next week. Also, casual plug, check out my Depop, and good luck with your own small business. I was supposed to be asking you as a question. I keep telling myself I'm going to do that, I never do. Comment down below a link to your favourite small business. You'll get bonus points if it's mine. I mean, I'm easy to buy. If you tell me that you like my business, I'll probably like you. It's pretty straightforward.